What's going to happen with the Senate is absolutely crucial, right? Whether you're going to have a single party rule or not. And all of that could come down to some very specific races. One of them is in Montana, a crucial Senate race where a longtime incumbent Democrat is at risk of losing to a former Navy SEAL who's backed by Trump. This race literally could determine everything, policy across the board, because it could determine the control of the Senate. Manu Raju is out front.
Jon Tester may be an endangered species. He's the last remaining statewide Democrat in ruby red Montana, where Donald Trump won twice by double digits. Now Senate Democrats' hopes of saving their majority rest largely on Tester, clinging to a seat he's held for nearly 18 years.
And I thank you for that one vote. Without that vote, we wouldn't have that.
But his GOP foe, Tim Sheehy, is seeking to ride Trump's coattails and tie Tester to Kamala Harris.
Every single time Biden and Kamala say jump, Jon Tester says how high.
Harris is obviously making this harder for you. You're not endorsing her. So,
well, that's because they don't want this race to be nationalized any more than they want it to be nationalized. I want to talk about Montana. That's what this race is about.
but would you vote for her?
That's between me and the ballot box.
Sheehy, a wealthy political novice who owns an aerial firefighting company, was recruited by party leaders who privately lobbied Trump to back the 38-year-old former Navy SEAL.
This is one of the finest men you'll ever see.
Sheehy goes to extreme lengths to avoid scrutiny, declining national and local interview requests, and often campaigning behind closed doors, while refusing to release his schedule. CNN attended a Missoula event promoted by conservative activist Charlie Kirk, not by the Sheehy campaign.
If Trump wins and he doesn't control the Senate, you can assume that he'll be impeached on day one.
Afterwards, Sheehy left out the back, and as he participated this week in his second and final debate with Tester,
You're running for the office, Tim. Your statements matter.
Yeah, they do matter, and the statement is secure the border.
Sheehy later would not talk.
Mr. Sheehy, do you have time for questions?
CNN learned from sources about another event 3 hours away in Bozeman, and we were told it was private.
We cover this event?
His guest, Senator John Kennedy, later would not take questions.
And then as Sheehy left, a truck came and blocked our camera. Mr. Sheehy, you're blocking our car.
Yet Sheehy boasted about the event on social media, writing, "It was a standing room only crowd."
He's pretty much shielded himself from the media.
Longtime political reporter Mike Dennison says there's a reason for this approach.
I think they want to construct a persona and run on that persona.
With split ticket voting a rarity in the Trump era, being a Republican could be enough to win. But Tester believes his image can help defy the trend.
Is it toxic to be a Democrat in Montana?
No, I don't think so. I think you just got to make sure you know that what you do and what you stand for and what you've accomplished.
With a staggering $139 million already spent by both parties on air and another $69 million reserved, it will be the most expensive race in the state's history. And Democrats hope it will turn on character, health care, and abortion, with Montana voters also deciding the fate of a ballot measure on that issue this November.
How can I trust Tim Sheehy when he compares mothers like me to murderers?
But as he tries to court Trump voters, the GOP pointing to Tester's 2019 criticism of the then president.
I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
As he downplayed those remarks this week,
It was totally figurative in speaking.
Tester also stood by his votes to convict Trump at his 2 impeachment trials.
Do you regret those votes?
Not at all. No, I mean, the case was laid out, and I was part of the jury, and you make the call.
And I talked to the Montana Republican Senator Steve Daines, who runs the Senate GOP campaign committee, about Tim Sheehy's decision to essentially shield himself from any press scrutiny. He went on to say that that Sheehy's strategy is working. He said, "Why change things a month before an election?" And he talked about Sheehy's, quote, tremendous crowds, Aaron. And he said, "I wish you could have seen them. Of course, we tried to see them, but Sheehy's campaign wouldn't let us." Aaron.
That was a very odd moment, but I think important that you showed it. Manu, thank you so much for that report.